Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Courtney. Today I have got a fall DIY for you and I'm very excited for it because a lot of you guys asked me for this tutorial when I posted this picture on Instagram. I may have posted it on Facebook, I can't quite remember. I don't always post the same thing on each social media, but I made a string art. Now that was my very first attempt at a string art, and I have to say it's not as hard as you think. Now, I saw a picture on Pinterest quite a while ago. It was the Chicago skyline, and basically all it was the skyline filled in with string. And I knew I wanted to take that idea and run with it. And since I'm from Texas, and apparently Texas, I don't know, Texans just like to, you know, wear their state shape, case in point, on clothing, on hats, fly the flag, sing the song. So I knew I needed to incorporate a little bit more Texas into the Houston skyline. So that is what I did. So today I'm going to show you basically the steps I went through to make the string art. It's really not that hard. Now, am I an expert? Absolutely not. There may be better nails to use, better string to use, but I'm just going to show you what worked for me. And I think you'll be surprised at actually how easy this is to do. But before we get into that, I want to show you a DIY that I've been working on all summer. I'm very excited to show it to you. So let me show you what it is that I've been doing. All right, so back in May, a company called Robotime reached out to me to see if I'd be interested in trying some of their products. If you are not familiar with their website, they have all kinds of things on there, DIY, craft related. There's models, there's miniatures, there's something for everyone of all ages. So what I picked were two like miniature things that you build basically. Now when I did these, and picked out what I wanted, my kids got excited and I ended up ordering and paying for a kit for each of them. And this actually became kind of a bonding thing. We set up a card table, we each had little stations. So it's one of those things that you can't just sit down and do all at once. It's kind of like a puzzle. You work on a little bit, walk away, work on a little bit, walk away. So I wanted to get one put all the way together so I could give you an honest feedback about it. But let me show you how they come. So this is the kit. This is the coffee shop. Obviously it's not put together, but it comes in this box. And if you can see the, I don't know, can y'all see that? Yeah, there you go. And on the front, it even says DIY and LED. What's really cool is that all of these have a little light feature. So that's really, really neat. Okay, I'm gonna rip this part off. Then when you open the box, it comes packaged like this. So you get an instruction booklet and then all of the stuff that you need to put this miniature thing together. Now I will say this, first of all, you will need a few things that are not in the kit. Obviously you're gonna need a pencil, ruler, scissors, and a pair of pliers. Those are the only four things that I needed. The other thing I did want to tell you is they're supposed to come with button batteries, but because they ship them, when I reached out to them and said, hey, I didn't get my batteries, she said they can't ship them, so you actually have to go and purchase. She did tell me I could reach out to customer service to get credit, especially for the ones that I bought for my kids. I will say that I did that about a month ago and never heard anything from them. So from that standpoint, I'm not really sure about their customer service, but everything else is in the box. Now, what happens basically is you go through the book, and I mean, it's like, I don't know if you guys can see that. It takes you step by step. So let me see if I can find it. Okay, so it's kind of broken down. So like for this one, focus please. Oh boy, sorry guys, new camera. Remember what I said? Okay, it'll say like bar counter. It'll have a picture of what you need to make, and then it'll tell you the things you need. These have age recommendations on them, and I would say they're true to point because my son is 11, his said 14 plus, and when he opened it, he got very frustrated. So I would say that you need to just kind of pay attention to the ages that they recommend. Also, there is some inferring and you kind of have to figure some things out. Now that can be a positive or a negative. As a creative person, I didn't mind it so much because I felt like, okay, the picture's not really showing me what to do. The directions really aren't showing me what to do. What do I need to do? And it was kind of part of the fun for me. It was kind of figuring it out how to make it look like the picture. So That could be a positive or negative. The directions are pretty simple. They don't go into great detail. Sometimes the pictures don't really help you much, but like I said, it really is a fun thing. So I would highly recommend it if you like doing little things like this. Check out their website. There's so many different ones to pick from. I mean, seriously, like so many. Now let me show you the one I did. They did not have a craft room per se. If they ever decided to do one, I'd be happy to give them many suggestions of what to put in the craft room. But they did have a tailor shop, which was close enough to a craft room. Hold on, I gotta turn on the light. So I'm probably gonna go in and add some little miniatures of like Mod Podge and things. But here it is. My little, and I kind of glued everything down, so there's like fabric and scissors and an iron and a sewing machine. And this is the little light fixture. You actually have to like wire everything yourself. Like I felt like an electrician. Like I really felt spiffy doing this. So this is my little craft room. When I get the coffee shop one done, I'm definitely putting it in my coffee bar. I cannot wait for that. So thank you Robotime for sending these to me. I'm really excited. I can't wait to start the coffee shop. Highly recommend it. I'll have all the information down in the description box if you're interested. And without further ado, let's get into today's DIY. Alright, so for this DIY, I'm going to be using a wall art that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and I just painted this white. You could use a block of wood if you wanted to. That's what I used for my Houston one, but for this I wanted to make a Dollar Tree version. Then pick out whatever pattern you want and print it out on your computer to whatever size you need it to be. I would recommend either printing an extra pattern or taking a picture of it with your phone, and I'll tell you why later on. So I'm just going to trim this down and then stick it onto my board, and then I will be ready to start hammering in my nails. These are the nails I'll be using. They are just 1-inch nails, wire nails that I got from Home Depot, and I like them because they kind of have a little flat head on it, which helps the string stay in place. We are now ready to start hammering down. So basically, I just kind of pick a point and you just are gonna hammer the nails down. You don't wanna obviously push them too far, but you can adjust that. So here's about how far I push them down. Now again, I wanted to show you the back here. If you're using an actual block of wood, you're not gonna have nails poking out like some weird porcupine, but since this is a Dollar Tree version, those are gonna poke out, but I will show you how to fix that at the end. So I'm just gonna go along the outside of this pumpkin and hammering them, I don't know, about a 1/2 inch apart, 1/4 inch apart, something like that. You can kind of just gauge it. Like I said, I just kind of winged it. So I'm gonna keep going on and just hammering the entire outside lines of this pumpkin. Here is how it's looking so far. I did want to give you this tip very quickly. You can, before you start doing the nails, take a pencil and go through and mark where you want the nails to go. This will let you know exactly how many nails you need and tell you exactly where you need to put the nails. I did do that with my Houston string art, but didn't do it for this one. Another very important thing I forgot to do because I was so enthralled watching the movie Beaches is before you start doing the string, pull your pattern off. Unless you love to play Operation and have to wean string through the pieces of yarn, for the love of Pete, pull the pattern off. Alright, so I'm going to be using actual yarn. This is from Yarn Bee. I really like it. Hobby Lobby sells this in many different colors. Of course, you could use embroidery thread. You could use actual string. It's kind of up to you what you want. So I'm going to start with the leaf using some of this green yarn. And the way you start is you basically just pick a nail and just double knot your yarn around it and then leave a little tail because that's going to be how you tie it off when you're done wrapping that section. So I'm just going to tie a knot, and then comes the fun part. Again, no rhyme or reason, you just kind of zigzag it back and forth until you get the coverage that you want. finish off the section, you're just going to kind of pull it up where you had that little original tail, and then just trim your yarn, string, whatever you're using, and you basically just, again, double knot it, the two pieces together, and then what you'll end up doing is trim it down, and then you can tuck those little tails into the section that you just did. So that's how I did it. There may be better ways, like I said, but it seems to prove just fine for me. So for the stem of this pumpkin, I'm gonna actually be using twine. Again, using the same technique, pick a nail to start with, double knot it, zigzag, zigzag, and then finish it off by double knotting it again, trimming the tails, and then at the end, you'll tuck them in. Remember when I mentioned about either printing an extra pattern or taking a picture? Since I didn't pull my pattern off, let me show you why. So if you'll notice right here, the pumpkin, it has kind of like the little humps where I did not put any nails. If you wanted to go back and add details, sometimes when you end up with a bunch of nails on a pattern, they start to get close together and you're not quite sure where the nails are supposed to be going. So by having a picture of the pattern, you can kind of tell where the definitive lines are. I hope that makes sense. I'm not really sure if it does, but just trust me, you may need to refer to the actual pattern. Pumpkin is all filled in, and now I'm going to try to show you as best as I can how to kind of clean up and have like a border line around your pumpkin. So basically what you'll do is you'll tie off your string, you're going to wrap it around the nail head like this, then go to the next nail, wrap it around one time like this. I'm sorry, this was a lot harder to film than I thought it would be. You wrap it around and then you go to the next one. Yeah, stand by. I was having some serious difficulty here, guys. Okay, then you go to the next one and wrap it, and you're going to keep going until you get to the starting point, and then you're going to end up doing the opposite side. I will freeze frame this for you guys to kind of see, so you can kind of see the chain. Basically, you're making like a chain. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. But you go all the way around the pumpkin, and then you can outline the leaf, you can outline the stem as well. Now, I don't like that vine thing, so in a minute you're gonna see me totally take that apart and do something else, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. All right, I'm back to my starting point, and now I'm gonna do the opposite. So then you loop it around, you're basically looping it the opposite way so that you make this little chain formation. It really only gave me a little bit of trouble where I was having to try to overlap over these other colors, the green and the burlap, or not the burlap, but the twine. Once you get to the pumpkin part, it goes super fast, but there you go. You're making basically a little chain along the edge. Here's the pumpkin all outlined. Now this vine, I was just not digging it. The nails were too close together. It was just too much of a small design to look good in my opinion. So I took a pair of pliers and just pulled all the nails out, pulled the string out, and then to fix all the little holes that were left behind by the nails, I just took some Dollar Tree spackling and filled that in, and then once it was dry, I went back in with the Waverly white chalk paint and just painted over it. And then I decided I wanted to make a kind of three-dimensional little vine to put in that spot. Taking some of this wired rope from Dollar Tree, I just took the green yarn that I used for the leaf and I'm just wrapping it around there. You could use floral wire if you wanted to. I just chose to use this, number one, because I really don't like this wired rope very much. It frays too easily and it's already kind of thick. I didn't want to have to deal with a super skinny wire, so I just felt like this worked for me. So I'm just gonna wrap it around and then I'm gonna go ahead and attach it to my little pumpkin here. I just kind of coiled it around and then I'm just tacking it in a couple of spots with some hot glue. To remedy the back, I am just going to take a piece of foam board from Dollar Tree, cut it down to size, and then I'll just put a little bit of hot glue on where the hanger part is on this frame and then just tack it in there, and that will keep me from poking my hand and having an ugly porcupine-like back to this picture. I wanted to add some ribbon to the edge of my frame, so taking some of this buffalo check ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby, I'm simply just going to wrap it starting at the bottom of the picture in the middle, and I just basically put a little bit of glue in the middle and then some on the corners, so I tack it basically on each side in 3 spots, and I'm just going to wrap it all the way around and then finish it off on the bottom. To tie in the sides of the frame, I went ahead and just tied a little bow with some of this smaller ribbon and attached it to the front of my pumpkin. The last thing I needed to do to this was just to stamp pumpkins, 25 cents on here. So I'm just using these stamps that I got from Michaels, and I'm trying hard not to push down too hard. I kind of want them to look a little distressed, and I'm just going to stamp the word pumpkins on top, and then underneath that I will do 25 cents. And since I didn't actually have a cents symbol stamp, I simply just put this little C down and then took a fine tip pen and just kind of penciled in the rest of it to finish the cents. And here it is, all finished. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up if you love fall DIYs. I really appreciate your support, and until the next video, have a great day. Bye.